Welcome to another edition of BCL Interviews. Today we are sitting down with the founders of Tipplr. Tipplr describes itself as a food and beverage discounting platform, and its mission is to shape the future of ethical food and beverage discounting. Before we begin, I'd just like to thank Mr. Govardhan and Mr. Srini for taking the time out of their day to sit down and chat with us today. So thank you, we do appreciate it. And
Thanks, Sanjay.
if you're ready, we can begin.
Sure.
So when I went through the Tipplr website, one of the things that struck out to me immediately was how your messaging seemed to focus on the restaurants themselves. You know, you talked about not sacrificing the profitability of a restaurant and how you can help the business itself grow. I know that with other aggregators, you know, there have been complaints from the restaurant's point of view about how things like deep discounts and the heavy commissions that they have to pay can sometimes be unfair to the restaurants themselves. So could you please tell us a little bit about why you chose to focus on the restaurants as much as you have?
Yeah, actually, if you look at, Sandeep, from last, about one and a half years, the entire paradigm has shifted. Earlier, the focus used to be only on customers company would go to any length to give them, even if they are burning, but, to give them more discounts. They wouldn't, in a lame term, if I want to say it, they wouldn't care about restaurants, how are they doing? And the focus was all on customers. So we wanted to bring in that, that equilibrium where it's a win-win situation for all. So when I say win-win situation, it's not that we are a commission-free aggregators, but the way we have actually shaped this entire thing when we started working with, because we spent about 6 to 8 months talking to different restaurant partners, the owners, understanding the pain points, what were they going through and everything. So then we came up with a model which will actually help the restaurants grow organically. And also the customers are extremely happy when they're ordering from a particular restaurant. So that's how we started it when we actually started it. So it's in the public domain, but you must be knowing most of the restaurants today with other aggregators, on the top line, they're losing about 30 to 40%, in commission to the aggregators. So then we came out with a model where we said, probably we are the only one company which currently in India doing this. We started giving them a lifetime contract of, 10% flat commission. But also we told them, we give them a choice to pass on the discounts, whatever they want to offer to the regular customers. When I say regular customers, see, earlier what used to happen with most of the aggregators, they would not know who their customers are. Right. Once it comes from the aggregator, then nothing was shared to the restaurants. They didn't even know who are their customers. So we also addressed the problem with the restaurants, and we told them, you will get to know the data of your customer. And we told them, you pass on the discounts, what you want to pass it on to your regular customers. So that goes in terms of discount. And we started charging the commission on the net bill, not on the gross bill. So when I say gross bill, see, because for example, and I will just give you a small example. Let's say a 1,000 rupee bill, and there is a 20% discount which the restaurant is offered to the customers, not to the aggregators. So the net bill becomes 800 rupees. We charge a commission on 800 rupees. So we started telling the restaurants, more discounts you start giving it to the customers, we would lose the commission part, but we are happy with it because we wanted the restaurant to be happy and we wanted the customers to be happy. So for example, if we from 20%, if a restaurant increases their discount to 30%, we would lose further 1%. My commission from 10% becomes 7%. But we are okay with it. We are happy with it. Till my restaurant partners are happy, because our entire focus was towards the restaurant partners to, boost them, because what's been happening, in last 1.5 years, it's created havoc in the entire hospitality industry. So that's where we started. So that's where we are going at. So that's why we call it as ethical discounting, and we give the complete control to the restaurant to control the commission what they're offering to us. No one else is doing. More the discounts they offer to the users, customers directly, and also the messaging. In terms of messaging, we put it across to the customer saying that it is the discount which the restaurant is giving. It's not Tipplr who's giving. We are just an aggregator who are actually helping you to get a better deal and great food from the the best possible restaurants in the town.
Okay, fair enough. One of the I went through your app yesterday, and one of the more interesting features on your app is the ability to book co-working and co-studying spaces. So something that I don't think I've seen in aggregator app before, and I definitely think it's something that users will use and appreciate going forward. Has the pandemic and the lockdown had any influence on you introducing this feature? Or was it something you had planned even before that?
See, this was, just to give you a brief on, we started with converting the cafes into co-working cafes. That's what our first product was. In fact, later we started adding dine-in and delivery to the particular restaurant because we saw just before pandemic, when we started introducing this feature, we saw a good demand, because you could just check into any of the cafes or pubs which are mostly vacant during the daytime. And, as low as for 99 rupees, you get a workstation for yourself. So that's how the whole idea started. So that's when our entire focus now was, it's actually shifted to the corporates, if you actually see. What we are doing currently, it's a completely corporate focused, the product, which we have introduced, which is called as Tipplr Resto Pass. So it not only gives the corporate the access to the cafes, for a co-working space, the opportunity for a day to just check into any of the cafe and work there. But on top of it, the primary thing, what we have actually introduced to the corporates is Resto Pass, which is a tax-free meal pass. So our entire focus, which we are working with the corporates now, is to replace other, meal pass companies. There are only about one or two, in the mainstream. Where we have started replacing them with most of the corporates to give them much more than what they used to get earlier. So that is what it's called as Tipplr Resto Pass. And that is one pass which gives access to all. So which gives an access to the corporate for dining, delivery, takeaway, and also co-working spaces. So this is a complete package. We talk to the HR team of a particular corporate, we get them all on board, and we increase their spending capacity, for every corporate by introducing Resto Pass. See, ideally, you must be aware of how the tax-free meal pass works, right? You are eligible for 2,500 rupees, as in every employee is eligible for 2,500 rupees of tax-free meal pass, which you can actually avail from the corporate as an employee, where you can save tax up to close to 26,800 rupees, to be precise, every year. But with engaging with Tipplr Resto Pass, with engaging with Tipplr, we increase the capacity of our spending, which is ideally you would save about 27,000 rupees in an ideal scenario. But tying up with Tipplr, the capacity increases to 35,000 rupees. So you're getting much more than what you used to get earlier. Because once you're tied up with Tipplr, there's absolutely no membership cost. We don't artificially jack up the price, and we don't artificially introduce any membership to avail the discounts or the great offers which Tipplr provides.
Yeah.
So that's where we are scoring in.
Yeah. So adding to what Gordon rightly mentioned, right? The work cafe currently due to pandemic, right? We had to relook into different different sort of a working stream. Now with the company started to get the business back. This is one of the opportunity areas for us. Being employees sitting at home from past 1 or 2 years, they're bored. They are looking at different ways of getting out from their house. They will definitely benefit them, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Speaking about the pandemic as well, I'm sure it has affected your plans, just like it has had an effect on pretty much everybody's lives. Can you share with us how COVID-19 has impacted your business, and what your views are and how it's affected the food and restaurant industry as a whole?
So we should take this question in two parts. One is the entire hospitality industry. How have they been affected? They've been affected at a very large extent, because even if we actually drill down, so we did a bit of stats with our partners, and we did a bit of survey because we are in regular touch with all our partners to get their feedback. somehow where the delivery service was enabled, in those restaurants, they have somehow managed to scrape through this entire pandemic. Okay. There is definitely be an impact, but it's not to that extent of, where the dine-in was there. So when I say dine-in, it's predominantly the pubs and the bars. Because what happens is, the model varies if you actually look at it, because there's a lot of, the expense which is actually gone into right from the interiors to, everything to just set up a bar or set up a pub. So from that front, it has impacted severely. And I believe, now the government is also looking at it. If you actually see the recent news in the, from the central and from the state governments in most of the states, they are trying to help the hospitality sector at large. The second thing is the delivery. Delivery, yes, they were doing good even during the peak lockdown, but half of the delivery centers were shut because of the the workers who would actually migrated from one place to another place, which basically from tier 1 to they started moving to tier 3 centers, and half of the delivery or delivery only restaurants had to close down. So now everything is slowly coming back on track. But that's where, all our partners, we got a good feedback from our partners because of our commission model. Because see, this, it's a very tough time, and, because we being low, and for them to even entice for the customers to come in, they looked at us as the right partners, to actually partner with and, push in their sales, because we don't even charge for marketing. We do free marketing for our partners. So that was our whole team, when we have started this. We don't charge for marketing. There's no artificial click per cost. And so we started promoting the restaurants. So that's one factor which has actually helped them. I think, yes, delivery somehow survived, but dine-in is taken a very bad hit.
Right, fair enough. This particular space which you're involved in seems to be buzzing at this present moment in time. There are other apps like Thrive, DotPay, and Rezoy, which are also taking on a restaurant-centric approach with their operations. Do you see apps like yours replacing the likes of Swiggy and Zomato, or do you think there will be a point where there's coexistence between everyone in the ecosystem?
So let me start with the market share. Just about food and beverage, India's, the market share, it's a $4.6 billion industry. Okay. And currently, if you see all Zomato, Swiggy, us, and other competitors, which you're talking about, put together, we have not even scratched the surface. It's not even 2% of the entire business, which is actually from offline to online, which is being converted, or we have actually got them into a space or a habit where they would actually book a reservation for a restaurant. But looking at the other ones which you just mentioned, we don't call it as a competitors, because see, our entire focus is on corporates and students. If you look at it, because what we look at is captive customers for us. Because when I sign up with big companies, when I sign up with corporates, when I sign up with startups, they're all captive customers, because their wallet is filled. First of every month, their wallet is filled, and they have to spend it through our Tipplr partners. The second thing is about, we're talking about Thrive or DotPay. They are predominantly in a tech company where their entire focus is not to bring customers to the restaurants, but to convert their offline menu to online menu. See, they don't advertise to get the customers to a restaurant, but they work with the restaurants just to convert their offline menu to online menu. But all the restaurants, the partners, they know they have to do the marketing, right? For example, they're not an aggregator. They are a tech company which are converting the offline tool into an online menu, where the restaurant can, again, they will say, end of the day, restaurant will have to pump in Facebook and Instagram and a couple of other social medias, where if they want the customers to look at them and order through them directly. That is what they do. But we are pure aggregators. We predominantly work with our captive customers. They're majorly the corporates and the students. On top of it, what the new feature which we've actually implemented. So when you were asking, us about how did the pandemic change about your company's plan, but it was actually a blessing in disguise because we introduced a new feature. We are the only ones who are actually enabling the club members to order from Club Kitchen. So that's another feature which we have introduced. And we have started doing it, and clubs love it because clubs, if you see, till date, they did not have any platform where you could just browse through the menu, order, and just order goes to the kitchen, and the entire delivery is taken care of. Now we have started enabling that in Bangalore, and so that is another feature which we have introduced during this pandemic. In fact, Srini, who takes care of the entire, the tech, and Srini can talk about it more. But we just implemented in about 55 to 60 days the whole new feature for clubs. And if you see our app today, if you download, there's a separate section for clubs, and all the clubs which you are tying up with automatically gets enabled there, and it will give an opportunity for the members to directly order from Club Kitchen. So that's another exciting feature which we have recently added.
Right. So, to add on to Gordon, what Gordon said is we are not a direct competitor to Zomato and Swiggy. Where we see ourselves is we product so primarily because we work with captive customers, as Gordon mentioned, that's only corporates. So Zomato and nowhere we are related to Zomato and Swiggy.
I see. Okay, fair enough. Finally, we just wanted to know, what your plans are going forward. How do you see Tipplr growing in the next couple of years, and how do you hope to achieve that growth?
Okay.
Yeah,
I can present. Right now, our current focus is expand in Bangalore to test the waters to see is our model being accepted by the customers. So the plan is starting from September, right? We have plans of expansion around 7 cities in India, predominantly major metropolitan cities. And then primarily the idea is wherever the software companies are there, we want to be present there. So that is the initial set of idea. After that, we are also looking at tier 2, tier 3 cities in the future for the next upcoming year.
I see. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add? Any other message you'd like to include as a part of this interview?
We are in a mission to create a win-win situation for all, for our corporates, for our restaurant partners and customers. We are just like as Srini was telling, our primary focus now is on the corporates and the the students which are working, because we wanted to give them something more which they actually deserve without paying any membership. So our whole motto is not to give some membership and then give them something, because which is already which our restaurant partners are helping us, helping the customers to come back and order from them. And our entire focus now is we want to give this benefit to as many as corporates as possible, because you from the tax structure, you will know this will help in a great deal for all the corporates to just onboard with us, because we are completely a free platform. If you see, even if we work with the corporates, we don't charge anything with the corporates. It's almost like a free membership or a free onboarding what the corporates get, but of huge value for the employees. So that's why we started connecting to all the corporates, and we want all the corporates to enjoy these benefits, which Tipplr is offering in almost all the arenas, right? From the dine-in, delivery, and takeaway.
Yeah. So adding to one final word from my end is post crisis, right? We are sort of laying our foundation in terms of digital transformation. We are working closely, how do we get in multiple features into our app? Something we basically trying to incentivize our investors and also keep our customers and same way the restaurant happy. So a lot more to come in coming days.
Okay, fair enough. I think we've covered everything that we plan to cover today. I'd like to thank you again for your time. I thought it was a very engaging conversation. We really do appreciate your time, and we're going to make this into an article and also a video with the interview along with it, and we'll send that across to you as soon as it's ready. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time.